No. Okay, hang on, you guys. I'm just trying to get used to this. We were going live from Zoom, and I had some people with me, so I thought I'd just see how that would work out. But I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing yet, so just take me a minute. Okay. All righty. Okay, I see. Okay, Stephanie, I see you loud and clear. Morning from Australia. All right. Hey, Carmen, you're just going to take a nap. All right. Woohoo. The nap can wait. Yes. Hey, Faith from Pennsylvania, and Nicole, and Tai Chi? I'm not sure. And Pat, hey, how y'all doing? And the reason why I'm doing this video in particular today is because I kept being asked by several people, and most recently by Dee, how to create an SVG from a JPEG. And I know I've done lots of videos like this, but it's always good to refresh our memories. So I'm going to go ahead and start in just a minute or so. I guess it's really not even 3 o'clock yet, so I'll just wait a few more minutes because I started just a tiny bit early. Okay, good, Carmen, thanks. Glad everybody can hear me now. Unfortunately, I won't be able to hear you guys because I had to turn down my sound. Otherwise, it kept echoing. I'll use my earphones next time. All righty. See, I don't know if anybody else has joined us through Zoom. I don't think so. But anyway, so how's everybody doing? What are y'all working on? Where are you from? Post it in the comments here while I wait another minute or so because we started a minute or two before 3 o'clock and it was to begin at 3. So I want to give a few more people time to get here in case they're trying to get in. Hey, Jesse, how you doing? Are you the Jesse that makes a whole lot of face masks? Really cool ones that I've seen online? Oh my gosh, I forgot to stop Nightbot. I'm sorry, you guys. That Nightbot just does that automatically, and I forgot to change him. Okay. You're from West Virginia, Jesse. Okay, and are you the person that makes a lot of face masks? Of course, they're probably meant. Nope, you're not. Okay, I was wondering because I thought maybe there are a lot of Jesse Gibson, but I wasn't sure. All right. Okay, well, I might as well just get started now. So these are just 3 separate images that I brought in. They're 3 different types. I happen to bring these in from Creative Fabrica because I can get them there for free, basically, since I own the monthly subscription. Link for it's down below if you're interested. But so I can get rid of this. Let's see, I grouped this together. So let me ungroup. And I'll just go through these one at a time. Whoops, I didn't mean to delete the whole thing. Excuse me. I guess I have to ungroup again. Okay, now I can get rid of this backing, delete, and this, delete. Okay, so I'll just start one at a time, and I'll start with, which one should I start with? I guess I'll start, this one is the weirdest one right here. This one that I bought or got from Creative Fabrica, it says it's an SVG. And yes, I did bring in the SVG, but I cannot color this thing as it is. Even if I try to do the techniques that I've taught you before, which I'll show momentarily. Let's just start over here. I'll start with this little girl first. I think she's adorable. I want to make her as an SVG. Let's imagine I want to cut her out of cardstock and put her in little pieces on a card. Or maybe I want to cut her out of vinyl and different pieces of vinyl and layer it on a shirt. So to do that, as you can see, I can't do anything with this little girl. I can't change her color any way at all. She is a JPEG image. I want to change her to an SVG. So the first thing that I will do to change this into an SVG, oh, cool, Carmen. Don't you love it? The subscription? But the first thing you'll do is just come over here to the trace panel. Select the trace area and just trace it like this. Okay, we want to make sure that the lines are all solid, that there are no gaps in the lines. And in some of the classes, I've taught you what to do if there were some gaps in the lines. But this one looks really good, except for her cheeks. Let me look at her cheeks. Oh, those look pretty good too. So I think it's all okay. If I want to, I could up the threshold just a tiny bit. And I'll just say trace. All right, let me scroll back out just a bit. So what I'll do now is just move the picture off because I don't need that to make my different colors for my SVG. This is what I need. Now I teach you guys, this is the way that I do it. The first thing I do is I grab this and that gets the whole image, and I come up here to the color area up in the upper left-hand corner, and I change the color to a very light color that I probably won't be using in my image. Some people I know like to turn it black, just like that, which looks perfect, right? You can really see it well. The problem is the next step that you do makes it hard for me and maybe you to see the pieces we want to color, because the next thing we do, I'm using Silhouette software. I'm using the business edition, which actually, why don't I change it? I'll change this so you can see that you can do this with the free version of the software as well also. The only thing you won't be able to do is save it for your Cricut machine if that's what you're using. So let me go to help here and I'll say view in. You see right now I'm in the business edition of the software. Doesn't mean you have a business, just means it's the fanciest version. But I'm going to go to the standard one, which is the free one. Okay. And now I'm going to continue doing the same thing. So let's just start right quick, really again. So here she is again. I'm going to go ahead to my trace panel over here on the right, select the trace area, and just make a trace around her. And as I said, she looks pretty good. If I wanted to, I could up the threshold just a tiny little bit, and then I'll just say trace. And this is the part that I do different, I think, than a lot of people. Right now, as I said, I normally click on this to get the outside edge of all of this, and I change the color up here to a very light color that I won't be using in my final product. Some people do go ahead and change it to black, and I'm going to show you why I don't. Because the next step you're going to do is you're going to come up here to the word object, release the compound path. When you release the compound path, that's going to put a little box around every little piece that makes up this image. Okay, you see that? So probably a lot of you can see that just fine because you have a lot younger eyes than I do. But to me, that's a little bit hard to see with the red lines and the black. So that's why I do it this way. The first thing I do is rather than change it to black, I change it to a light color. Then when I go to object, release the compound path, I can more easily see, at least for me, it's a lot easier to see all these different colors. So, it's just working on Halloween cards and Christmas cards. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do now is just start coloring her. So I could color maybe her hat, both parts. I could color this like a purple. And maybe this piece a purple. So you can just go through here easily one by one and start coloring these. And this is creating your SVG. Let's see, I can make this little moon shape thing maybe yellow, and make the part of her hat here and here yellow or orange, whatever. Okay. Let's see, for her, Tina, you send out 70 Christmas cards? Whew, my goodness. All right, for her hair, I guess I'll make her a brunette. Like that. And this must be part of her hair right here as well. So I'll click on that and I can get the same color of brown right here. And her long hair must be hanging all the way down here too. So I can select this piece on the right hold down my shift key and get this one over here. And again, come up here, change it to that same brown color. All right, for her flesh tone, I should have probably brought in an image that had a nice color for flesh. We'll pretend like that's good. That's awfully pale though. We'll work with it. I'm going to get her hands and make those the same color. Just click on one, hold down my shift key and get the other one. Oh, and her little ears too. Look here. So I can hold my shift key down again and get that ear and then that ear. And now I can come up here again and change that color. All right. So the next thing I would do is, okay, see this little piece right here where my hand is? I don't think I really want that piece. So what I'm going to do is click on that, hold down the shift key, and click on this part behind it. And I'm hoping this is going to work just like this. Going to come over to the modify panel and say subtract. Nope. Okay, I'm going to wait to do that later. So I'm going to continue on with her clothing. And if I want to, what I could do with her clothing is I could come over here to this paint palette. Now, if this is going to be a print then cut, I could do this. But if I don't have this kind of paper, this pattern of paper, it won't do me any good to just go ahead and change this, you know, to be like a glitter or whatever, or any of these over here. It won't do me any good if I don't have that pattern paper, if I'm not doing a print and cut. So what I'm going to do instead is I'll just color that a color, maybe orange. Okay. And then I'll just make her little collar purple and these little things purple, kind of tie it all together. And the buttons, maybe I could make those match, hold down my shift, make those match the yellow part of this moon. And if I'm not sure what color in here I used, although I know it's right here, I could get the eyedropper and just come over here and click on it. Whoops, I thought I had them both selected. But I'm going to go ahead and get this one now and color that color. Okay. So she's looking pretty good. At this point now, I would probably go ahead and bring in that black color that I had originally. So if I click up here, notice I'm just getting a little part of her. I want to keep trying clicking around here until I get the whole box selected, which I just got just now. And now I'm going to change that whole part to black. And now you can see how easy it is to see these different parts. Okay, so if you're making an SVG and you'll be cutting out this piece, I want you to notice something. See the eyebrow right there? That eyebrow is actually cut out, allowing you to see the black underneath. So we're going to do the same thing for this eyebrow. So I'm going to select that eyebrow, hold down my shift key, select her face, and come over here to the modify panel, and I'll drag it over here because I'm going to be using it for a little bit. I'll say subtract. So notice what that did. That subtracted the other eyebrow out. So if I'm cutting vinyl or I'm cutting cardstock, rather than having to cut a little teeny sliver like this of black to go on top, all I'll have to do is cut the face color and that will come out. So let's see, I think I'll do this, the outer edge of her eyeball, hold down the shift key and get her face again and say subtract. Outer edge, shift, face, subtract. Let's see, I think I'll make this and hold down the shift key and get that and say subtract. Nope. So I got to scroll in. All right, so I want to select this piece, the inner piece right here. Okay, and hold down my shift and get that and say subtract. Oh, whoops, I hit intersect. Oh gosh, hold on you guys. Undo, undo, undo. I think my computer has stalled. There we go. Okay, I'm going to just go ahead and make this one green. Maybe she has green eyes. And then I'm going to take this and this. Okay, for some reason now I'm forgetting this part. So I guess I'll just do this. I'll take this piece and come over here and subtract. And then I'll right click on this one and bring this to the front, doing this a little bit of an awkward way, very awkward way. So what I'm going to do then, I'm going to make this a lot easier for myself. I'm just going to make an offset on this. I'm just drawing a blank here. So I'm just going to put a little offset on this piece right here. I'm going to offset it. And not that big. Oopsie. Hang on one sec. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and make this white. That's the white of her eye. And then I'm just going to go ahead and I'll just make this one black. And then if I wanted to, I could offset that part. So I'm doing this kind of backwards. Whoopsie, from how I would usually do it, but we'll still end up with the same response. So I could do this, hold down my shift, click that, and say subtract. And that should have taken that, yep, out of there. And that could be done like that, unless I wanted to add another little ring inside. But this is just to give you the idea. So again, let's see. So what I'll do, you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to do that again. I'm just going to go ahead and click on this, and hold down my Alt. Whoopsie. Nothing like being live, right? Click on that, Alt, and drag this over so I'll have another one that's the exact same size. And of course, I could put another little dot in there or the iris of her eye if I wanted to. What I could do is take this one and put an internal offset perhaps. But in the meantime, what I'm going to do is on her cheek, grab this, hold down my shift key, grab her skin, and say subtract. Hold this one, hold down my shift, get her cheek, and say subtract. Then do her mouth the same way, mouth, shift, skin, subtract. And then, of course, I can make her have a rosy cheek by coming up here. Oh, and not orange, but rosy, pinky. There we go. Make her have a pinky colored cheek. Okay, let's scroll back out and see how she's looking. All right. So the other thing that I would do is just color her broom. At this part, same brown. Could make this one darker. Oh, her eyes look goofy. I didn't do her eyes very well. Oh, well. You're getting the idea. Because over here, notice she just has two parts of her eye. So basically what it was this was black and this was colored. So I overachieved on her little eye right here and made her look a little bit goofy. So maybe, I wonder if I should just go ahead and change that to like a green, if that would look better. Not really. No, it doesn't matter. Anyway, this was all I needed, was like this. 2 parts, not 3. The other thing you might be noticing, you can see all those red lines there on her face. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab all this and turn off my line color. Just by coming up here, the second one over on the right is the line color. Change it to no line. And then I'm going to go ahead and continue on. I'm not sure. There we go. Nope, that's not right either. But that will probably be better. Do you see what I just did? I subtracted out that little piece here because I don't really want this little teeny tiny thin handle to be all by itself. So it's better if I just went ahead and cut out just this greenish part right here, but left the black so you could tell it was something else. Now I have selected another piece of this green right here, and that's supposed to be her hair. I'm not sure which one of these browns I use, so I can get this magnifying glass and click there, and it'll make it perfect. Let's go ahead and scroll in just a little bit. He has some more work to do here. And here's why. So notice her shirt right here and the buttons and these parts right here. We want to fix that. So what I can do is grab the outside of this, hold down my shift, grab her shirt and say subtract. Did you see what that did then? It subtracted that out. Now those holes right there, I can do the same for them. This and this and this and this and this and subtract. So now her button is like this. Okay. So again, for this button, I can click on this piece, hold down my shift, get this one. And then the thing I want to cut that out of is right here, the yellow. So I can click on the yellow and say subtract. But I wanted to do the other part first. This piece, hold down the shift and get the orange of her shirt and say subtract. And then do this, the other little hole, still holding down my shift key, get the button and subtract. And there we go. So again, this blue part, and I can tell I have the blue part selected because if I look up here, you can see what color is selected. So I hold that shift key down then, get her shirt and say subtract. Here I select that blue part, shift, shirt, subtract. Can make the pumpkin all orange, come up here, change it to orange, as well as this part and this part. Wait a minute, this, and this. Oh, I see this. Hold down the shift to grab the other pieces of that. And I'll change that to orange, I guess, too. These little pieces right here will work the same way as the other ones did. I'm going to click on this one, shift, this one, still holding down the shift, this one. I want to subtract that bluish green color out of the orange pumpkin so the black underneath of it shows through. So with my shift key still held down, now I click on the pumpkin and then I say subtract. And you can see what that did. It subtracted that stuff right out of there. So when out of vinyl or cardstock I cut this, I don't have to cut these little slivers of black. I actually have, for those of you who are brand new, I actually have this great big huge piece of black back here. Check this out. So there's the piece. On this piece, the black, I'm going to build all these other things. So on this layer of cardstock or on this layer of vinyl, I can build all these other parts and I don't have to worry about sticking black in to these areas. Put her pumpkin back. And then I can just go down here and change her leggings, hold down my shift key. Maybe I want to get every other one. And I'll change those to purple. And then I can do the other ones to orange. Excuse me. Not sure if I got that last one. Okay. And I can change this if I want to, or I can scroll way in and just make that black. So this, hold down my shift key. Actually, I can just pull that off of there. And these, I don't even think they're necessary. I could just remove these if I didn't want them, or do the same thing I had done before. Click, shift, click, and then hold down and get that, the broom, and come over here and subtract. And again, that just cut those holes right out of there. Okay, I do see one more thing I'd probably want to get rid of into these things right here because I don't really think they're going to make or break the outfit. So I could just delete these. It's up to you, you know, how persnickety you want to be. I could do these if I wanted to. Click, shift, click, click, orange, subtract. Click, click, orange, subtract. So There we go. So that's how easy she is to do. And now, depending on how I was using her, what I would probably do, what I know I would do for Cricut Design Space especially, or even for anything that I'm doing, I would go over here to this paint palette up at the top that says Select by Color. And when I click on that, notice it says Select by Line. What I'm trying to do is group the colors together. So if I go Select by Fill, I can look for the colors that are on her. When I click on this, it selects every single one of those purple pieces right there. And then I can simply group them together. I can right click and say group, or what I could do is hold down the Control on my keyboard and hit G. So that keeps them together just like that, which is especially useful if you're doing this as an SVG or as a for vinyl, because then it keeps it exactly where you want it to be when you pick it up with your transfer paper or your transfer tape. All right, so it's not going to fit on there because I resized her, but I could do the same thing again. Get this brown. Looks like I should have had it right here too, so I messed up. Let me get that same brown by coming up here. There. All right. So now I can do the brown. There's two pieces. I can right click and group, or Control or Command G, which means group, and those pieces will stay together like that. I'll do her face. Her face should just, nope, her face isn't just one piece, because remember, she's got the hands and she's got the ears. So right click again, or Control G, keep them all together perfectly. Let's see, this brown, Control G, that's all of these pieces. And see how easy that would be to build this out of vinyl? This orange, Control G, stays together. That orange, Control G, or right click and group. The yellow, oh yeah, there are several pieces. Again, right click and group. So those will all stay together. And let's see, what do we got? The black is just one piece as it is. That's over there. The pinks, right click and group. And I can move those off. And the last one should be the whites, Control G, or right click and group. So that's all there is to doing her. Let me look back, see if anybody might have any questions. Doesn't look like it. Okay, so that one's pretty easy, and I hope Dee has come, because she's the one that especially wanted to see, if you get a JPEG, how in the world do you make that into an SVG? And y'all can see how easy that is now. You get a picture like this, you just get a coloring book picture somewhere, and you can easily turn it into an SVG that you can use for vinyl or cardstock, whatever you like. And the thing is, maybe you'd want to personalize this little girl and make her have some clothing on, similar to what a child you know may have. Or maybe you want to put her name on here. So that's how easy it is to personalize these things too. Okay. Group. So I'll group her. So she's done. Whoops, I forgot her cheeks. Come here, you. Can't even see them. Oh, I need to right click on them and bring them to the front. And then bring them over here. And now I'll group everything again. All right, so she's done. And so I might as well just delete that stuff. Delete. Okay, so let's scroll back out and see what else we have here. Okay, this is a little boy image that looks quite like the little girl, right? Except for he's already colored. So what if you find an image that's already colored online, but you don't want to use those colors? You can bring it in. All you have to do is go to File and open whatever image you saved. And by the way, someone said to me today, Patty Ann, even though I brought in an image and it was a PNG file, it still came in with the checkerboard behind it. What should I do? Sometimes that happens. And if that checkerboard was still behind this, all you'd have to do is just go ahead and trace it and it would work fine for you. So let me show you this guy quickly. So again, we'll come over here to the trace panel. And this is if you find something online that you like. Maybe you find a Mickey Mouse or a Minnie Mouse and she's already colored, but you want to do something special to her. Or you want to have her in pieces so that you can put her on a t-shirt with heat transfer vinyl or HTV. So you're going to select the trace area. You don't want her to be a print then cut. You want pieces. Trace her like this. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll in because I see a place that might be an issue. And I was thinking his cheeks might be, but it looks like they filled in okay, or there's a line totally around them. Okay, I don't want to go that high. And the reason being is I can't see the different parts of his hat. Watch when I move my threshold down. Now I can begin to see different parts of his hat like that. You see? Before it just looked like one solid hat, but I want to be able to color it however I'd like. So that looks okay, except for the cheeks look a little iffy now. Let's scroll in just a little further. Okay, I could probably, maybe if I up the threshold just a couple, let's scroll back out and look at his hat. Oh, that still looks good. So I'll just say trace now. And I'll just move him off. And I should probably put this guy over here so you can see him more easily. Okay, scroll in. Okay, again, do this like this and you'll be so much happier. When you have this ready to go, notice you can't color anything yet. You have a couple more steps to do. Write this down. Keep this in a notebook if you need to. After you trace him, and you simply say trace, not trace and detach. Trace and detach as if you're doing a print then cut and you don't want this box around him. I'll show you that right quick. If you want to trace and detach because we love him just as he is, and we're just going to put an offset on him, you would come to trace and detach. For this one that you want to color, you simply go to trace. For the one that you want to be a print then cut, check your lines, make sure they're all solid, and then say trace and detach. And so that makes you this little guy right here that's perfect now. Maybe you wanted a little guy like this for a cake topper or for a big poster or something like that. And of course, you can also put an offset around him easily now. That's one of the beautiful things I love about having this software. And notice I'm working in the free version doing all of this. You don't even have to have the paid for version. I can do that, make him have a white offset. The only difference with this is I won't be able to save this like this in a format that I can use in my Cricut. But if I didn't mind just printing this and cutting it by scissors, I could just do it all with the free version. But anyway, the point was, Dee wants to know, how do I go from this? And I forget what image she said she was trying, but somebody else is trying to do a thumbs up and a thumbs down. And this would work the same way. So when you've traced it and you have this, click on it. You get the whole box around him. Just come up here to the color swatch area. Change it to a light color you won't use. Seems like I always almost use this greenish color. Okay, so that's like that. And again, the reason why I said I do it like this is because I want to be able to see very easily all the squares that make him up that I'm going to be able to color. So let's move this guy over. So click on this one again. So he's highlighted. Then, okay, so first what you did, you trace. Then you come up here and make it a color that you're not going to use in your image. Then you come to Object, Release Compound Path. There's basically 3 steps. And then you start coloring. So if I want to make the purpley hat the same color as this, I can click on this part, hold down my shift, click on this part, and come over here to the color swatch area. If I wanted to make it the exact color, get the eyedropper, click there. Let's see. All right, so There's something unusual that I've done here. When I trace this, notice there's no extra line right here. So if I try to make it purple, watch this. I'm going to try to make that purple, that color purple. It's going to change everything to purple. So that tells me I'm going to start again, you guys, because when I traced him, I must not have been really careful and watched to see that I got all the pieces that I needed. Okay. So let me show you. Here he is again. Let's try this again. I'm going to go Control Z to undo. So I'll just put him back the way he was. All right, there he is. Okay. Oh, can I redo that? No. Okay, so I'm just hitting undo, undo, undo a lot of times. All right. Okay, let's see what I got going. Okay, you can see it right here now. Look at this. See how I have this hat? That's because I didn't have my trace set very well, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. If I go back to the trace panel over here, and I change my threshold right here. Remember I had it up too far earlier and it hid some of the parts of his hat, and I still had it up too high when I was here, because look, there's no line that shows the difference between these two colors. So I need to make my threshold down a little bit. Now look what I have. I can tell you that that's going to mess up his cheeks, I bet you, but we'll fix those. I'll show you how. So the next thing you're just going to do once again is say trace, move the colored one off, and I'll bring him back. Whoopsie. Over here on the white. And again, this will be a refresher. What's the first thing I do? Just click on this, come up here, get a color I'm not going to use. Next thing I'm going to do, go to Object, Release Compound Path. Next thing I'm going to do, color him. So again, I can just click on these pieces, that, hold down my Shift, get the other part of his hat. If I want it to be the exact color again, just come up here, get the eyedropper, and whoopsie, get the eyedropper and click. All right, so now if you'll notice, I am able to do the other part of his hat because there's these little spaces here. So I can click on this, Shift, and this, and I want that to be a little tiny bit darker purple, which is shown there. So I'll get the eyedropper and click. All right. I want this to be green, click. If I want the exact green, get the eyedropper and click. His hairs to be red or orange, or click, come up here, eyedropper, and get that color. All right, let's see. His face. Now I have a face or a skin tone that I can use. I can get the eyedropper and use that. And of course, he's got little ears just like she did. And tiny little hands. So I'll make those the same color. All right, so let's see, make this the purpley color. So I'm not going to do all of this because you kind of know how to do some of this, but I do need to show you, I'm pretty sure, on his cheeks. So let's see, I'll make that this orangey color. All right, so let's look in, scroll into his cheeks and see. I kind of thought maybe I had to do them, but maybe not. Let's see. All right, yes, here we go. Here's a problem. So what I can do, let's see, what I usually do is to just go ahead and use the nodes to attach the nodes together to make this a solid piece. So I'm going to double click on this to get the little nodes. You see those little boxes that come up? Okay, when I get the little one on the end here, I'm going to right click on it and say break path. What that's going to do, it's going to allow me to take this piece apart and this piece apart, this piece apart. Okay, I have to do the same thing to this side. Can break this path and take that and that. So what I'm going to do now is just bring this part down and bring this. So what you want to do is bring the two red dots together. So I'm bringing this one right there, and that was perfect, just what I needed. And then I'll just make this one come in like this, whoops, and this one come down here, and there they are. And then of course I can fix this so it's not so weird by deleting this node maybe, or point. Okay, so it wasn't really a perfect circle, as you can see. It's not meant to be. So that one's fixed. And let's see if we have any other issue on this other side. You scroll way in on this one. This one looks like it's going to be just fine. Yes, so there's no opening on that one. So what I can do is just change the inside color of this to pink. And let's scroll out so I can see. And this is probably part of his white neck right there. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and change this to black now and see what we have. So again, I'm going to go on the outside edge, and that time I got lucky. It did the whole outside edge to begin with. So I'll just do this black, and that looks pretty good. But I need to click on this, hold down my shift key, get his skin, and say subtract, so I can subtract the pink out so we see the hole there. Do the same thing with this one. Hold that, shift, his cheek, subtract. I can make both of these white. And get that eyebrow, hold down the shift key, get his skin, and subtract. So hopefully you're getting an idea of what I'm doing here. It's really pretty darn easy to make these into SVGs. You just really have to practice. That's all there is to it. Just practice on these things. So again, this bluish green color right here, I know I have it selected because I can look up here, hold down the shift, get his skin, and subtract. So it's just making the line around his cheek. Do the same thing around his mouth, hold down the shift and subtract. Then I could change his mouth, and boy, I don't know what color they got it over here. Okay, so I'd click on this, hold down shift, get that piece, come up here and get the eyedropper, change it there. And it looks like they have his cheeks a different color. So I'm going to make his cheek the same color they have. And then this one, there we go. Let's see. Whoops. Might need to scroll in to make sure I'm getting what I want to get here. So let's see. I want to get the bluish green, and I know I have it by looking up here. Once I have that selected, shift, get his skin, and subtract. And then I can actually go ahead and click off, click back on, and change that cheek to that same crazy color that they used. So anyway, I think you get the idea for him now as well. The other thing I would do is finish up all of this stuff, but I don't want to go on forever and ever. So the other thing I would do, though, if I was doing this out of vinyl to make it easy for myself when I'm putting it on my transfer paper, if I'm doing it out of HTV, I would come up here to this paint palette, and usually, like I said, it opens by line, but I want it to open by fill. So I can just start here. The black's just one solid piece. Remember, it's back here hiding. That's the piece onto which we're going to build him. All right, so this is a bunch of pieces I really wouldn't ordinarily have because I would have, because I would have ordinarily colored them, but I'll just go ahead and group them by going Control-G or right-click and group. But G is in group, so that makes it easy. You see, now I just have this on my transfer tape and just go like that. Do another color, this orange, Okay, ordinarily I would try to make the oranges the same color. Like, why have two different color of oranges like that? That's just crazy. So let's see, I'll just go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go up here, get the eyedropper and make it the same as that one now. So that should select everything now. There. Okay, perfect. Then group, Control G, or right click in G. So I would just continue doing this, get his facial features and his hands and stuff, Control G or right click in G. So this is how easy it is to make an SVG. Now here's the thing. If you're doing this in this free version, you can use it for your Cameo machine or your portrait machine. Easy peasy. You don't have to have the business edition to do any of this. And if you just simply want to print this, you don't have to have the business edition. But if you want to save this as an SVG for Cricut, you have to go to File, and I would select it first. File, Save Selection, save it to my hard drive. But here's the rub. Here's the problem with this program. If you only have the free version for Cricut or for Scan and Cut, you won't be able, you will not have the options to save it as a JPEG or as an SVG. You have to purchase the one-time purchase, the business edition. Once you own it, and you can do everything and much, much more than you can with this free version. But if you want to use this and save it as an SVG for Cricut, you have to have the business edition. All right, so he's pretty much done. Let me see. I don't think there were any questions. Let's see. Nope. Okay, so I'll delete him and delete him. This last one is the weirdest one to me. Let's see, where did it go? There you are. Cole, this one came in, and as it came in, it's a coloring book page. Lots of cool coloring book pages over there on Creative Fabrica. I thought this could even be cute on a t-shirt or a bag, right? I think it's really cute. But what if I didn't want it to be just black? What if I wanted color on it? Well, I can't color it like it is. They say it's an SVG, but it's not one that I can drag apart and do anything with. I can make it bigger and smaller. So it's a scalable vector graphic. It doesn't get pixelated or little boxes, but I can't color it. And let's imagine I want to color this thing. Easy peasy. To make this into an SVG that we can color or use as pieces, all you have to do, once again, is come over to the trace panel. Select the trace area. Trace it. This is going to trace so well because it's perfectly black and white like that. Don't have to do anything to it. Just say trace. And I'll move the picture part out of the way, and I'll leave this here. So again, a lot of people might change this to black, but I don't. I changed mine to a color I'm not going to be using, probably. Whoops, I got to highlight it first and then change it. After I do that, what's the next step? Object, release compound path. That puts boxes around all these things, and I shouldn't have gotten, there you go. You can see a million little boxes, right? Well, not a million, but you know. So I can just go through here and start coloring this thing now. So if I wanted to color, let's say, these candy corns, every other part of it, no, there's some more, every other part yellow maybe. So I'm just holding down my shift key the whole time I'm going around looking for some candy corns. Don't know if I got them all, but we'll check out. Come up here, make it orange. Then maybe I want to make the other part yellow. I don't know about you guys, but I hate these candy corns. Kind of like in my book, if it's not chocolate, it's not worth eating. All right, so there's that. On theirs, they made his face, the eyes and all that jazz black. So I could do that if I wanted to, or I could make it white. I think I'll leave it. I mean, I was going to make them yellow, but we'll see. Make the ghost white. So I can just go through here and hold down my shift key and grab the ghosts, or these, I guess they're skulls down here. Make those white. And these bones, I'll make like a tan color. Let's see. Okay. All right. Now maybe I want to make the sky. Well, I'll show you. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to make it a gradient, but I want to make sure that I get all the sky. So I clicked on that part and got that part of the sky, but there's some more pieces in here that are kind of blocked in, like right here between this tree and this one. So while I hold down my shift key, I'm going to grab that part as well. And there's some more parts of the sky. Oh, was it here? Nope. I think there was some more sky. There's a little bit of sky right there. This is all selected. That might be some sky right there. And that might be all. I'm not sure. But anyway, I have as much selected as I think I can right now. So I'm going to come over here to the paint palette and to the gradient fill. And I'm just going to do a dark color. Oh, I don't have that part selected. You see that? Okay, let's see. What's up? Okay, let me look at this gradient fill for a second. I'm going to go to the advanced options. And what might be happening is this right here. Oops, I need to put in some more of these to make it look a little spookier. So now I can see I did actually have that selected. It just wasn't showing up that well. All right. Then the only other things I can do is just start coming in here and, changing some of these tree colors. Whoops, not that little thing. That, and that part of the tree. So if I wanted to, I could make that a gradient. If I wanted to, I could actually come over here. And in my patterns from Creative Fabrica, they had really nice glitters there to download for free if you have the membership. So I might just come over here and get one of these glitters to make them glittery like that. And of course, for the advanced options, you can make the scale bigger to make your glitter look bigger. And this would be really cool if you were using this for a print and cut, I bet, because it would really kind of look glittery and look interesting like that. Okay, I don't like the way this looks right here. So I might just go ahead and select that, come up here to the color swatch area, get the eyedropper and get this dark color and just make it dark like that. I like it better. Okay, let's see what else. A pumpkin, select him. I could if I want. Hey, I wonder if he'd be good as glitter. Wow, I kind of like him glittery too. All I'm doing right there is changing the angle, which doesn't do much, but I can change the scale. Okay, that's kind of creepy. All right, we'll just leave him like that. And then I would just go through here and color the rest of these things. There's, whoops, this lightning bolt and this lightning bolt. And I'll just make those the same yellow color as the candy corns. This, I don't know what this is. Maybe this is the ground. Do you think that's ground? I'll make it like, I'll just make it a light green. Funny green. Not sure if that's the ground or not. So I'm just going through here trying to color things that I think would be certain parts. But you can see how easy this is. I could make this even a lighter color if I wanted. Although if I was really doing this properly, probably the foreground color should be darker. So I'll make those dark. And I can make this a little bit lighter because as things recede from you, they get a little lighter usually. I'm clicking this one, shift, this one, and this one. And I'll make it that lighter green. Okay. So I'll make that the darker. And then make that the lighter one. So really basically now I don't have that much more to do. I'll go ahead and grab these leaves right here. And I'll make those a darker green. I don't like that green, but I'll do that anyway, just for time's sake. All right, so now what I could do is go ahead and get the outer edge of everything and change it to black, and let's see what we got. Okay, oh my, it's looking good, right? I think I would go ahead and get this guy's eyes. And I'm trying to decide. I think I'll make them yellow. Like that. And I can grab this guy and that. Come over here and subtract. So I'm just going to subtract out all these little pieces. I can't go over here now and continue on, even though I hold down my shift key. I have to do it all within one shape. I'll show you. So if I try to do this, hold down my shift, this and this, and this and this and this, and then say get the white and say subtract, you see it doesn't work. It subtracted them right out of that other guy's face. So what I need to do is each shape individually. So I select this, and hold down my shift and get that, the outside edge, or his white ghostness, and say subtract. Then I would do it the same way with this little guy here. Get the white, subtract. Okay, there's an issue with this one bone. Isn't that weird? All of the bones worked out fine. Look, the black showed through except for on this one. So all I have to do is click on the outside edge of that, and to know I have that bluish green color, again, look up here in the upper left-hand corner. While that's selected, hold down the shift, select the green, and say subtract. And there it is, just like we want. Okay, him, subtract, his face, click, shift, click, click, click. Did I get the last click? Yes, subtract. Okay, you guys tell me, what in the world are these little things? Why are there bubbles? I have no clue. Bubbles. I don't know. So I could make those any color I wanted to if I wanted to. So I'll just go ahead and change this to yellow and orange and maybe white. So again, just click, shift, any ones you want to change at the same time. And then change the color. And I'll just make these yellow and this white. Yes, kind of weird. No, I don't like that white. I'm going to go ahead and make it orange. Oh, I had something weird selected there. I just want this little white guy selected. So I'm going to hit orange. Here we go. All right, so that's pretty much it. Unless you wanted to go ahead and do something with these bubbles or with this stuff back here. I think I could just remove that thing. I'm not exactly sure what the point is of that. Got to do his stem. All right, so this is something that's an SVG, but I wouldn't want to do anything with vinyl with this personally. But what you could do with this is that printable vinyl that you can put on. So I could just delete these bubbles for now because they're bugging me. Because they're not done and they just look ugly. Oops. Okay. All right, so that's what you could do now. You could do with that printable vinyl, easily just make a t-shirt or something like that, or a bag. Hey, in my neighborhood, they just decided they're not going to have the trick-or-treating this year. I don't know if they decided that in your area. Oh, I'm sure the kids are all going to be bummed. Okay, so I messed this up right here. Okay, so this part probably should have been the green of the glitter. So I'll come back over here again to my pattern, all the way down to that one that I uploaded from Creative Fabrica there. And then I made the scale bigger. There we go. I wish I hadn't put that there, but here's another piece of green. And I could have changed its scale as well. But anyway, you get the idea. This would make a super fun thing to do, I think, for a shirt or for a bag, something like that. I don't know. You know what else would be kind of cute on? Maybe like a pot holder or something like that. Now, if I start clicking these out of here, that's going to leave a hole. So I would want to color those. But that's pretty much it for this one. It was just weird. This one was just weird. And the reason why I wanted to show it to you, the reason why I wanted to show it to you was because how it says it was an SVG. And of course, when I brought it in, I couldn't exactly color it or anything like that. I had to go ahead and trace it to be able to color it. So I just decided to take his eyeballs out of here just because I thought maybe it would look better like the way they had it originally. What's his mouth? Hold down the shift, get that, and subtract. So anyway, I think that's super cute. I do like it. What do you guys think? You could make the sky, of course, any color you'd want to. You could make it blues if you wanted or something. I'd want to mess around with this and try to see what in the world. Oh, that's the sky behind them again. So once again, I might like to make that a darker color. So I could do that to match the other stuff. Just come here and get the eyedropper and get this dark color there and have it dark like that. I think it shows up better. The other thing I would do, of course, is to grab everything and turn off these red lines so I can really see what it's going to look like. And then, of course, the other thing, well, there's another piece that I'd want to get rid of. Okay. The other thing that I would do, see, that's going to look goofy right there. I'd probably just go ahead and make that the same color as the tree. Just because it won't show up that much. I don't know. It's goofy. Let's see. Okay, the other thing that I would do now, if I was going to save this, no, I really truly wouldn't save this probably as for vinyl. But if I was, I would go up here to this paint palette again and go to select by color, fill. My black should be together. All my blues, Control G for group. Whoops, and I didn't need that G. I should, or that gray, blue. Let's see, this green, Control G. Whoops, didn't mean to carry that. The green, Control G. There's all the green. The orange, Control G. So it might not be that bad in vinyl. Let's see this. Those are the bones, I think. Control G or right click in G. So it might not be too bad in vinyl like this. And then I would continue on doing this and that would be ready to go. So you'd have another SVG that you've made that you can make out of vinyl. I certainly would never, ever, ever make this out of cardstock. I'd either print and cut it for fun. I might do it out of vinyl, or I would do it on that printable vinyl and put it on something. Where's this go? Here. So that's pretty much it. Does anybody have any questions about anything? Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I like the sky. Thanks, Carmen. I think it looks pretty good too. Oh, Jesse, you do have the face covers. I thought maybe it was you that was doing them. Cool. They're really neat. Thank you, Tammy. Oh, that's sweet, Carmen. Thank you. And Val from the UK. Cool. All right. I want to thank you all for joining me. Hey, next time, maybe you can join on our Zoom class, because we can get together and chat first. And then if you want to hide yourself when I start the live portion, you can do that. But I guess for now, that's about it, unless anybody else has any other question. Yes, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Tons of you that come here aren't subscribed, and I'm trying to get my subscriptions up yet again. So if you subscribe and hit the bell, you'll be notified when I go live. And by the way, listen, all of you in my Patreon class, I'm doing something new. Tammy and Stephanie and I got together and we decided we miss each other. So we're going to do the classes live twice a month now. The first and third Sunday of every month at 1 p.m. Eastern time, we'll do our live Patreon class where you guys we all chat, for that 20 minutes, half an hour beforehand, get to know each other and have a lot of fun. Some people don't do that because some people are really introverted and don't want to. But if you like to chat, you're welcome to come early. But we're going to do it twice a month now because everybody's still kind of bumming with all this junk that's going on. And some people are losing a little bit of their mojo. So we want to get back together again. So it'll be the first and third Sunday of every month. It's only $5. It's $5 for a class, in-depth class. So join me if you want to over at patreon.com/PattyAnn. So thank you again. Thanks, Roxy. Oh, you almost texted me or not me? I don't know. Let me look at my text. Okay, looks like we're good. All right, see you guys. Bye.